I'm sorry about that. That was my bad. We had to make a quick escape. I was not expecting things to go down like that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think we need to talk about this later. Now let's get out of here. What do you say? Come on, now. Let's get out of here. Yeah, okay. Okay, thanks. So I got to be honest with you. It's always been just a thrill to play a bad guy. It is so much fun because you don't have all those moral restrictions that you would if you were playing a good guy. You know, you're just not constrained by anything. And also, you get to do things that are really nasty and cruel, so it's kind of fun in a way. You know, you just get to step outside of normal human behavior and just do whatever you want. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you can't do that in real life. So you might as well do it on film, right? I'm here to tell you about the brand new limited series. This pulse-pounding thriller set in the near future will take you into the neon-lit streets of Neo-Kyoto, a city controlled by 5 powerful corporations. When a rogue Special Forces operative steals a top-secret data chip, he becomes the most wanted man alive as he fights to expose the truth behind the city's glowing facade. Join me and an incredible cast, including Hiroyuki Sanada, Mariana Jimenez, Michelle Yeoh, Golshifteh Farahani, Ray Stevenson, and Michael Mando. Catch all 8 episodes starting June only on a streaming service. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot of chaos, but you know what? If you look at history, you know that there's always been chaos. There's always been change. It's the only constant in our lives, isn't it? How we respond to that change, how we deal with that chaos is what counts. And you know, it's important for people to understand that everyone has the capacity to handle difficult situations. You know, I think people underestimate themselves. They don't believe in themselves, and it's not necessarily even conscious. You know, they don't realize it. But then, when they find themselves in a situation where they have to deal with something difficult, they start to panic because they think they're not capable. But they are. We all are. Now, yeah, all right? Let's get up on the bike and get out of here. Come on. It's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be a lot of people trying to stop us. Hey, you okay? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm fine. All right, listen to me. I want you to go back to the apartment, okay? I want you to grab the bag underneath the floorboard, okay? You remember the key I gave you? Yeah. Take that key, go to the safe deposit box, put the flash drive in the box, lock it, and don't open it until you hand it to the courier. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. Be careful. I love you. I know, I love you too. The best thing about doing these kinds of action films is the training and the preparation. Because it takes months, you know, to get ready to do these kind of roles. So you really have time to kind of sink your teeth into it. And you really get to live in this world. You become part of it. So when you're doing these big action pieces, you feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that's the great thing about cinema. You know, you can create worlds. You can create characters that people identify with. And I think that's the power of movies, you know, the fact that you can get people emotionally involved in something that's not real. I mean, why do we watch horror films? Why do we watch any film? Because we know deep down they're not true. They're not real, but we still get involved in them. We still care about the characters, and I think that's what makes being an actor such a privilege, is you get to tap into that side of human nature, and you learn more about it. I mean, it's a privilege. I think the greatest actors are those who can make us care about characters that we might not normally care about. And I think that's the challenge for any actor. You know, you want to play characters that audiences will identify with. You want to play characters that they'll care about. And I think that's the challenge. I mean, the physical stuff is easy. You know, you can always put on an accent. You can always change your hair. You can always grow a beard. I mean, all that stuff is superficial. What's hard is making an audience care about your character. And I think that's the challenge for any actor. I mean, when you see someone like Anthony Hopkins playing Hannibal Lecter, it doesn't matter how scary he is. We still care about him. We still have some empathy for him. And I think that's what makes him such a brilliant actor. There are some similarities between me and Alex. I think we're both flawed human beings. I think we're both damaged in a way. And I think that's what makes us interesting. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. I think we're all human. And I think that's what makes us interesting. It's amazing. I mean, you work so hard on something and then you release it and it's out there. And it's so cool, You put so much of yourself into something and then you let it go. And then when people respond to it, it's very rewarding. It's nice. It's nice to know that all that hard work has paid off. You don't make movies for yourself. You make movies for other people. You want to entertain. You want to create worlds that people can escape to. And it's nice when people respond to that. It's nice to know that you've created something that's affecting people. The stunts in this show are incredibly well designed. And the action sequences they're phenomenal. I mean, they're so well staged, so well executed. It's a visual treat. It's not just mindless violence. It's actually a story, and I think that's what makes the action sequences so exciting. It's not just about the fight. It's about why they're fighting and what they're fighting for. And I think that makes it so much more engaging. I think that shows have raised the bar in terms of quality. I mean, the writing is getting better. The directing is getting better. The acting is getting better. And I think that shows have become a real viable alternative to movies. I mean, you have shows like Squid Game or Hellbound, which are just as good as any movie. I mean, in terms of writing, in terms of directing, in terms of acting, it's just as good. And I think that's a testament to the quality of television today. I mean, you have shows that are pushing the boundaries. They're taking risks. And I think that's what makes them so exciting. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know how it's gonna end. And I think that keeps people watching. It keeps people engaged. And I think that's the secret to a successful show today. You have to keep people guessing. You have to keep them on the edge of their seats. And I think that's what makes a great show. Don't miss the adrenaline-fueled action of the limited series. Streaming June only on a streaming service. Watch now and experience the electrifying story that will keep you on the edge of your seat.